For most of us, it started with a touch, a swipe, a tap, a flick of the finger across glass. Now, we didn't realize it at the time, but that simple interaction marked the beginning of a seismic shift. It changed not just in how we use our phones, but in how we lived our lives. For the iPhone, phones were just tools, functional, feature heavy, but ugly. But this was different. The iPhone was beautiful, it was alive, and Apple knew it wasn't just selling a device, it was reshaping reality. This is a story of how a phone reshaped our future, of how a company built on rebellion became the ruler of a digital empire, of how Apple took a single product and turned it into something much bigger. And it all starts in 2007.
This is a day I've been looking forward to for 2.5 years.
In 2007, Steve Jobs introduced the world to the first iPhone, a device that combined a phone, an iPod, and an internet communicator into one. This wasn't just a product launch, it was a reinvention of what it meant to connect. With a 3.5-inch touchscreen, a 2-megapixel camera, and iOS 1.0, the original iPhone wasn't perfect, but it promised a world of possibilities. Now, the lack of 3G, copy-paste, and third-party apps would be forgiven. Why? Because the future had arrived and, well, it fit in your pocket. The iPhone 3G, released in 2008, didn't just bring faster internet, it also brought the App Store. Suddenly, the iPhone wasn't just a phone, it was a platform. And by 2009, the 3GS added video recording and performance gains, pushing the idea that the device could do it all. It could grow, evolve, and become anything that you needed it to be. The iPhone 4 in 2010 introduced a bold, boxy glass and steel aesthetic, and the Retina display raised the visual bar. But with elegance came controversy. Now, the so-called Antennagate proved that Apple's pursuit of perfection sometimes missed the practical marks. The 4S, however, quietened the critics, with Siri ushering in a new era of voice-enabled tech.
Because for decades, technologists have teased us with this dream that you're going to be able to talk to technology and it'll do things for us. That's a feature in the iPhone 4S we call Siri.
Apple didn't just want you to touch your phone, it wanted you to talk to it. The iPhone 5 was sleeker and taller, embracing aluminium and speed. The 5C, with its playful colours, aimed to democratize the iPhone, and the 5S introduced Touch ID, a literal fingerprint to your digital soul. The world began to blur between who we were and what we owned. 2014 brought a response to competitors and market demand, larger screens. But with the 6 and 6 Plus came the first cracks.
People have been talking about it all week, and now Apple finally is joining the conversation as Steve Jobs rolls over in his grave. On our Consumer Watch, Julie Watts with an update on what's being dubbed
the Bendgate scandal became Apple's biggest controversy at the time because it directly challenged the company's reputation for flawless design. When users found that the iPhone 6 and 6 Plus could bend under normal use, it sparked a viral backlash that questioned Apple's priorities, accusing the company of choosing thinness over durability. Unlike a software glitch, this was a physical flaw in the product itself, making it impossible to ignore or patch, and damaging the carefully crafted image of Apple's engineering perfection. Still, Apple Pay debuted, and with a simple tap, your wallet just became virtual. Your phone wasn't just a tool, it was your identity. When Apple removed the headphone jack with the iPhone 7 in 2016, the internet exploded with mockery. Memes flooded Twitter and Reddit, roasting Apple's claim that the decision was an act of courage. Many critics, including major tech sites like The Verge and Wired, argued that it was more about pushing users towards buying expensive wireless AirPods than genuine innovation. Competitors wasted no time. Samsung and Google directly mocked Apple in their own smartphone ads, proudly highlighting the fact that their devices still have a headphone jack. It wasn't just consumers who were skeptical. Tech journalists accused Apple of prioritizing sleekness and accessory sales over convenience, framing the move as a cash grab disguised as forward thinking. In 2017, the iPhone X dropped the home button, ushered in Face ID, and introduced OLED to Apple's world. The screen became everything. This was a full leap into the future and the beginning of the end for physical buttons. The phone as we knew it disappeared into glass. With the 11 series, Apple doubled down on cameras, battery life and computational photography. The 12 brought 5G and a nostalgic return to flat edges, and the 13 refined it further with ProMotion displays. But then the hardware plateaued, but the software kept pulling us further into the ecosystem. The 14 Pro introduced the Dynamic Island, a live interactive notification center woven into the notch, and the 15 adopted USB-C, finally bending to regulation. And the 16 series, well, it's all about in-house dominance. The Apple C1 modem, the A18 chip and the continuation of Apple's move away from third parties. Apple is no longer just innovating, it's consolidating, controlling, owning every link to the chain. 17 years after that first black slab of glass, the iPhone is no longer a revolution, it's an institution, a language and a lifestyle. We now unlock our lives with our faces, we pay with our faces, we track our sleep, our steps, our cycles, and we airdrop our photos, iMessage our friends and FaceTime across oceans. And at the center of it all is Apple, a company that built a walled garden so beautiful, so convenient and so frictionless that most of us never wanted to leave. Or maybe we forgot that we could. Yes, Apple has innovated brilliantly, boldly and relentlessly, but it has also standardized control, curated our experiences, dictated the rules of digital commerce, and quietly woven itself into the fabric of modern life. The iPhone didn't just change the world, it claimed it. And maybe, just maybe, that's the real story. Not just how Apple built the most successful product in history, but how it turned that product into a monopolized power. The story of the iPhone is, at its heart, a story of ambition, beauty, and power. From a hopeful swipe across a touchscreen to a world completely reshaped by one device. Apple's creation has not only changed how we live, it's changed who we are. It connected billions, compressed the world's knowledge into our palms, and set a new standard for what technology could be. Yet beneath that sleek glass and polished aluminium lies a more complicated future. A world where convenience can quietly cost us control. Where innovation often locks us deeper inside the system designed by one company. And as we race forward into an even smarter, more connected future, one question still remains. Who is the tool and who is the intelligence? Now, if you enjoyed this little video essay, please leave a like and subscribe. This is the first video on my channel. I really want to do long form for quite a while, and here you go. Please let me know with a comment how it is and maybe what you want me to see and what I can do better. Thank you for watching.